Biden-Harris team talks so much about, reestablishing and reengaging, and here's our great person, we're here, we're back, or whatever they're saying, right? I I mean, are we? Do you get the sense from your sources, around the world that there is this goodwill feeling, America as the democracy holder, thank you for coming back? I mean, I don't know. Uh,
There's a very much a caution when it comes to that. They're certainly happy to have a more predictable administration. Someone who doesn't tweak foreign policy and wreck their plans for summits or whatever. Uh, but they don't know how long Biden's going to stay or the Democrats are going to be in power. And there's very, very much a strong understanding internationally that, 40%, at least 40% of Americans wanted Trump and that brand of politics, and that could come back in a few years. So there's a lot of hedging. I mean, you're seeing,
Mm.
a number of countries very much not necessarily commit to being, only pro-America and give up their ties with China or anything like that. I mean, they are very much thinking to themselves, this America that we know right now may not exist in 4 years. It could be a completely different one again. And we need to have other friends, and we need to have other means of handling our issues instead of just turning to Washington all the time. I think some of the interesting stuff you've seen happen is I don't know exactly where this is going to go, but just there seems to be more in the Middle East of Arab Iranian outreach, and even like the Turks and others. There just seems to be a little bit more movement when it comes to doing that kind of bilateral stuff that doesn't include the United States.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's because, they feel like Biden is there and he's very much made it clear that he wants to stop focusing so much on the Middle East. So they need to kind of get their house in order. And to me, the question is like, is this going to continue during Biden's presidency? And if he loses and we have a Republican in charge next time, and depending on which Republican, is that kind of, outreach that's going on now going to happen under the next president? Because I will say, like, I think if Trump had won again, I don't think you would see this Arab outreach to Iranians, the Saudis saying, let's talk to the Iranians again, that sort of thing. I mean, I think they would have still been on board with Trump's maximum pressure campaign against Iran. And yeah, so it's there's hedging, there's caution. And frankly, maybe that's the way that it should always have been, right? I mean, if you rely too much on, on one government to stick around, like you couldn't, or to even democracy somewhere to survive, like you could end up being sorely disappointed. I mean, who would have thought what's going on in Hungary right now when it comes to democracy, or Poland or wherever, would be happening? I mean, if you'd asked me several years ago, I'd have thought, what are you talking about? But nothing is permanent.